Good morning. I'm Christina Ramirez, and I'm your host today at the Surrogate Session with Surrogate Heather Darling. Today's webinar topic is Simplifying with eProbate, and this session is in support of you, the attorneys. Before we start, a couple of housekeeping items. All participants are muted, but you have the ability to ask questions throughout the program by typing them in. The panelists look forward to answering your questions after the presentation. We encourage an exchange of ideas today about eProbate, what your experience has been, and thoughts on enhancements. You should see the Q&A on the bottom right portion of your screen, and you can type those in and we'll get your questions to the panelists. Now let me introduce to you our surrogate, Heather Darling. She's an attorney and former Morris County freeholder. Surrogate Darling was elected and took office as a surrogate in January of 2020. With Heather today is Deputy Surrogate Chris Longo, who is also an attorney. Chris has been the Deputy Surrogate for over 25 and a half years. Also on our panel is our Chief Probate Clerk, Deborah Scott, who has been with this office for over 27 and a half years. Both Chris and Deborah have been very involved with the surrogate on the development of eProbate. As a reminder, please use the Q&A box to send in your questions, and I'm now going to turn the program over to our surrogate.
Thank you, Christina. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for your interest in our program. Special thanks to my staff who really participated 100% in making my vision of the eProbate platform we're discussing today a reality. Today's event is intended to provide attorney users of the new eProbate platform with useful information, but it's also intended for us to obtain some valuable feedback from attorney users as to ways we can improve on our platform. As a practicing attorney, I would often visit individuals in their homes in order to plan, prepare, and sign documents that they had put off but knew they would soon need based on severe and incurable illnesses. It was a value added that I could offer people at a very difficult time in their lives, but it also obviated to me the number of individuals in our senior and special needs communities with mobility issues that made it very difficult for them to get out of bed, into a vehicle, to our office, and home again. Previously, surrogates employed satellite offices to bring their services closer to the community. But bridging the distance did not solve the underlying issue of having to appear in person in order to complete probate. I had a vision of a fully online probate platform to serve the needs of the public, and it would be a way to bring our services to our largest user base rather than them coming to us. When COVID happened and in-person activities all but ceased, the idea became obviated to everyone as a necessity. So we were able to garner much more support at that point. And in March 2020, we began discussion and planning of the eProbate platform with our third-party software provider. They then realized that if they created the program to our specifications, they would be able to offer it to the other 20 surrogates in the state of New Jersey, who are now also bringing it on board. Our chief probate clerk worked with software developers and programmers in order to develop a method of inquiry, input, and user document submission that would enable our probate clerks to have the necessary information to complete probate without verbal or personal contact with the clients we serve. The design was intended to lead to greater efficiency for our probate clerks as well as ease of use for the clients. In October 2020, we began beta testing the program with a small group of attorneys for functionality. And although my original vision was for attorneys to work with individuals, on November 17, 2020, we opened the program that was my vision to all users. Since that time to date, we have had over 700 cases filed using our new platform. And I'll now turn the program over to Deputy Surrogate Chris Longo to discuss what it is we've learned since the inception of the program and the improvements we've made based on that information. Chris?
Thank you, Surrogate. We've learned a lot, and here's what you should keep in mind as the end user. First of all, eProbate at this juncture is designed for the standard probate, i.e. simple wills and administrations. It's not for cases involving any degree of complexity, such as cases involving minors or administration CTAs. It may evolve to the point where we can handle everything electronically, but we need to walk before we can run. Second thing we've learned is that we're trying to be as uniform as possible. The one thing when I initially noticed with our probate clerks receiving eProbates, they were starting to handle things a little differently. To that end, we are trying to the process of streamlining the procedures to make sure we respond to eProbates in a uniform and consistent manner. We're trying to be like the McDonald's of probates. The third thing we learned is that time is important, and we want to speed things up as much as possible. From the time we receive an eProbate to the time we send out to the forms to the applicant should be quick. Right now, since it's a new process, we don't have a standard amount of time it should take to receive, review, and respond to an eProbate. However, once we perfect the procedure, I'm hoping we can actually quantify the time and accelerate it so that you, the end user, will have confidence that if you submit an eProbate, it will take X amount of time. Then it becomes a no-brainer from your standpoint, from the user standpoint. And finally, when Heather brought this in, it became clear that this really could revolutionize our probate procedures. However, we need your help. So if there's something you think we can improve, we are confident enough to accept your suggestions. One caveat, we're not dealing with Google level of programmers, so you have to understand there is some time delay in implementing changes. But if you have something you have in mind, if there's something we can improve, please let us know. Now, the future. eProbate can be a real game changer for us. It will allow us to achieve greater efficiencies, and it also, God forbid, if there's another pandemic, we conceivably could all work from home and nothing would change, even at the worst case scenario. So I think ultimately it's really going to revolutionize what we're doing. So Christine, if you could go through a standard eProbate, that would be very helpful.
Okay, thank you, Deputy. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so everyone can see the presentation. Just bear with me here for a sec. Can you all see that?
Not yet.
You can't see it yet. Okay, I apologize.
Technical difficulties.
Okay, share. How's that?
Perfect. Got it.
Apologize to all. Okay, today I'm going to provide a quick overview of how to file using eProbate and what happens once you use this service. And that would be on the other side of the wall once we receive it. Some of those on the call today have used eProbate and many have yet to use it. I just want to note that Morris County was the first county to start this service. It was conceived here as the surrogate outline for you, and we brought it to fruition in November of 2020. This service has created many efficiencies in the process of probate and simple administrations, and we are very committed to providing continuous improvements and enhancements, and we really do want your input today about it. So the first step is you go to www.morrissurrogate.com. That's the surrogate's website. And if you scroll down, you got to scroll down to the bottom of the page and you'll see the Learn More section. There are many interesting topics here, but what you'll do is you'll click on Probate. Once you click on Probate, the next screen you're going to see is the different options that we have to probate or administer a will in person, online, or through mail. You're going to click on Online, and then right underneath that it says Visit the eProbate website, and you click on that. So once you click on that, you're going to get this screen. Welcome you to eFile. You select your county, which is Morris. It's a drop-down menu, so there's another county listed there at this point in time. And then you're going to click the drop-down menu for the case type, and you can choose between deceased with a will or deceased without a will. And once you click on that, you're going to get a disclaimer. And this is notifying everyone that you're actually leaving the Morris County Surrogates website and you're going into our vendors cloud, and that's where the information will reside until they send it to us, which is pretty quickly. We also want to make sure that you know that the information does not remain there at all. It is wiped clean once it comes to us. We also notify you as the user that cases as they're submitted require the documents of the death certificate and the will, if there is one, to be submitted with the data form so that the clerk, the probate clerk, once they receive it, will have all the information. So then once you understand the disclaimer, you click on proceed to the data form. And here's the first form that you're going to see. It asks for the name of the filer. We ask you to enter the phone number. As a matter of fact, you would not be able to upload the data form to us without a phone number in case we need to reach you. All the particulars about the deceased, the executors, and the form goes on to get into the next of kin. And so the next steps really are that you will complete the data form. And at the bottom of that form, if there are any special circumstances that you want the probate clerk to understand as they're doing this case, you would enter that in under notes. So it's really a communications vehicle. And then the third step in the process is you're going to submit the case form. And once you do that, you're going to get the note that says, make sure you've entered everything. And this basically will go over the heirs that are identified on the estate to make sure that we have the addresses and phone numbers of the executor or executors, whichever is appropriate. And it also notes that when you're uploading the will, if there is one, that any codicils that go with that will, they're all in the same PDF format, so document, so that we receive it all at one time. Now, if for some reason you haven't entered the information that's required, you have an opportunity right now to go back and make any corrections that are needed. And once you're satisfied that you've entered all the information, you finish and upload the document. You click on that. And then what you're going to get is the notation to go ahead and upload the death certificate. So you'll browse your computer, you put in the PDF file, and then you'll get upload. And then if there is a will, if you're in the died with a will, you'll get the same notice for with a will, and you'll upload that document right here. The next screen, once they're entered in, it'll be upload documents, and those documents will be transferred. Okay, you're going to hit a complete. You're going to get the notation that you're ready to complete. And then once it's completed, you will receive a confirmation number. And you could also click here to get a printable confirmation form. And that pretty much is what you need to do. And at the same time in your email, you're going to get a confirmation letter of what you now can expect, notifying you that the probate process has begun. The case is going to be assigned to a probate clerk. You're going to hear from that probate clerk. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what happens when we receive it on our end. So I have to stop sharing this. And then I'm going to go over here. Okay, so can you see this?
We can see you.
Should you see a blue? Do you see?
We only see you.
Okay, apologize. Let me go back. Okay, I need to click share again. Okay, can you see that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So here's the screen, and earlier I submitted a couple of cases, James Doe and John Doe. So I'm going to click on James Doe. And as you can see, all the information has been entered. Parties have been entered. And, okay. Let me go back here. Okay, and then, as you can see, the death certificate has been received by the probate clerk, and the will has been received by the probate clerk. And they will also have any notes that you may have submitted. So what happens next? I'm going to stop sharing this screen and go back to my presentation. You can see the screen chart.
Sure.
Do you see what happens next?
No, only you.
You see what's, okay.
It's there now.
So then, you see it, the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the probate clerk will email forms to you and documents for the completion related to this estate. To complete the process, the filer needs to complete the documents, have them notarized, and return those documents to our office with the original death certificate and the original will, if there is a will. And it's very, very important that these documents be returned to us by trackable mail. We've had, instances where, they've just sent in the US mail, and sometimes that's not so much reliable. And these are very important documents since they are originals. So if they're trackable, you'll know when we get them, we'll know that we got them because we record everything that's received here. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this over to our Chief Probate Clerk, Deborah Scott.
Thank you, Christina. What I would like to add, this program is designed to be easy, it's designed to be efficient, and designed to be effective. It is designed to be easy because you log into our website and type in your information and hit a button where your information will be submitted to us. It is designed to be efficient, so the probate clerks will be productive and not wasting time in doing their job to their full capacity. It is also designed to be effective, where the probate clerks are equipped with the tools and documents they need from the public for a quick turnaround and getting the file executed by the surrogate. And more important, our main goal is to serve the public with excellence. I would like to turn the program back over to Heather Darling.
Thank you, Deb. Moving forward, we have some ideas before we open it up to questions that I would like to go over. In the past, our office did not accept credit card payment. However, this has been very inconvenient for many, especially with the new eProbate platform. People would like to be able to complete everything online. So within the next few weeks, we will have credit card payment online and available for our users in the office, which we think will be a tremendous convenience to the public. E-signature is something that we're working on. To date, using platforms like DocuSign is not something that has been made available for use in our office by the legislature, by the courts. However, I have spoken with members of the legislature in order to discuss with them the possibility of bringing this kind of platform forward so that if we can use DocuSign or another similar service, we will be able to further streamline the new eProbate process such that documents can be completed and returned to us via uploading rather than taking the time to go through mail. And we do strive continuously to be innovative and streamline the services and procedures here in our office. So as we do open this session up to viewers for questions and comments, we welcome constructive advice on how we can improve on this new platform, as well as other services that you might wish to see in our office. Thank you.
Okay, we have a couple of questions here. One was, how do we actually upload the documents? And we're going to make this presentation available on our website. We went through how that you just basically click on, I'll answer this question for you. Once you get the query that says upload documents, you browse your computer, you click on the document, it goes into the upload portion, and then you click on the button that says upload documents. It's pretty simple. So we're going to have that up on the website. You'll be able to review that. If you have any questions, you can call us. We'll certainly take you through it on a one-on-one basis.
Christina, if I can add to that, as far as uploading, obviously you're browsing your computer to upload it, so it will need to be saved already as a PDF on your computer, just as if you were submitting something to the e-court system. You should all be familiar with that at this point, I would assume.
So you have to scan it.
You can save it.
Or you can turn it to from a Word document. You scan it and then you move it. Usually when you scan it, it's a PDF anyway. Okay, the next question. Do you anticipate that we will be able to pay the fees via JAX in the future instead of sending in checks? And how long will you be using the Dropbox?
That's something that the judiciary would have to incorporate into our office. This is something that we have designed independently in the surrogate's office. So if in the future, all 21 surrogates are on the program, we would probably see it at that point. However, until the judiciary mandates it or decides that it's something that, all surrogates again have incorporated, I don't foresee that. Chris?
Yeah, again, as Heather explained, there's the issue is county and state payments. And when the payment is made for a surrogate fee, it goes to the county versus payments made to Superior Court go to the state. So they have to, as Heather said, the judiciary has to decide when the JAX payments are going to be made payable to the county. But that's something that's out of our control.
Can you print out the input data review prior to submitting?
Sorry, Christina, you cut out. We couldn't hear the question.
Okay, so the question is, can you print out the input data? So once you complete the data form, can you print it so that you can read it and review it prior to hitting the submit button?
I think so, yeah.
That's a question that I honestly cannot answer. I would suggest that if you wanted to do that, you would screenshot it. It is my understanding from an attorney that contacted us previously, there was no way to do that. It was being discussed with the third-party software provider as something that we would implement. However, it has not yet occurred, so people have not been able to print and review other than by way of screenshot or simply taking a snapshot of your screen.
Okay. A little technical issue here. Okay. How will login work? Will we have to set up an account? Do you want me to answer that? I mean,
Yes, please. Take it away.
You don't have to personally log in. You don't have to set up an account. You just fill out the data form and it asks the filer's name and the attorney's name on there. As an attorney, you'll just fill out that portion. Okay, if you're moving towards having the ability to upload qualification papers and e-sign, is there any thought to also making the letters, testamentary, or other certificates electronically available instead of sending through the mail in the future?
Yes, thank you. That's a very good idea. In fact, make a note since you have a pen. Thank you. This is what we were hoping for, some great innovative ideas.
Yeah. Will notice of probate and proof of mailing also be required to be submitted via eProbate?
Yes. Yes. Yes, that's, the answer is yes. I mean,
Questions we have.
the only thing I would add is that we want to make sure that all the documents that are come back to us from original death certificates and original wills either need to be hand delivered or sent by certified regular mail with some sort of tracking system attached to it. So whatever you do, don't send, well, the process is all electronic. We still require the original will and the original death certificate to be received by us. So make sure you have a secure method of delivery. That's very important.
And timeliness of the delivery. Courier is another option, FedEx, some sort of overnight, because what's been happening is people are submitting the documents that they've uploaded. Our probate clerks are working off the cases, but we cannot proceed to complete probate and issue those documents for your signature until such time as we do have the originals. And that has really created a big problem here, because people have thought that by uploading the documents, they've completed the process. And our probate clerks don't have time to call everyone, so they're waiting for documents to come in, while members of the public who don't understand the process fully are becoming very unhappy with the turnaround time, when the reality is we're waiting on them to send the documents. So using express means of delivery is critical, and we do have now the ability to in person accept documents if you want to hand deliver them, or clients want to hand deliver them to the office in order to get them done quickly. The only caveat is you need to let us know you're coming, because people are still not permitted to come into the building without appointment. So we will meet you on the street at the door to take the documents from you if need be.
Okay, we got a couple more questions. When Deputy Margot indicated that the system is not for more intricate cases involving minors, does that include testamentary trusts involving minors who may not receive assets until a certain age, where trustees are named in the will?
We can do trustees, right?
We can do trusteeships. Yeah.
We can do trusteeships. So you could set up a trust on online. We just want to talk about minor guardianships. That's what we can't do that, or we won't do.
Can we take apart an original will to upload it? So you'd have to copy the original will to make a PDF document to upload it. But we would need to receive the actual original will here in our office to complete the probator administration process, or the probate process for the will. Are refunding bonds and releases still required to be filed to close out the estate?
They will be, as always. Nothing has changed in that regard. Nothing has changed with regard to the process of probate whatsoever, or statutory requirements. This is simply an expedited process for filing. So those documents would be submitted by mail. They would not go through our eProbate system. This simply gets the process moving.
Okay. All right, I think that's all the questions we have so far. If there are any more questions, please send them in. Oh, here we go. If the named executor is renouncing, do we note that in the comments section and provide the info for the successor named executor in the data input?
Yes, that would be required. If they, know someone is renouncing, they could put that in the additional comments, and we would pick that information up. And when we actually go over the screen and viewing the documents, we would add that in, that the person will be renouncing.
And we will send the renunciation to the end user.
Is the document draft box still in the lobby?
The lobby's not in the lobby right now. The lobby's across the street right now because of construction on the entryway. So there is one, but it's on the other side of the road until further notice.
So somebody said, can the original will, maybe this was the question from before, can the original will be unstable to copy it?
It can.
Okay.
Just make sure that when you put it back together to send it to us, put the pages back in order. You know, do what you would normally do in those circumstances, just as if you were copying it in your office.
Okay. Okay. In the presentation, you said that we would send original documents, will, death certificate with the signed documents. It now seems that you are saying that you will not issue documents to be signed until you receive the original will and death certificate.
We cannot complete probate until such time as the documents have all been received with original signatures, meaning we can issue you the documents for signature, but until we get everything back, we can't complete probate, meaning we can't sign off here in our office on the final product.
Will we need to complete a staple affidavit if we unstaple the will?
No, that's not necessary. You know, as long as Heather said, as long as the pages are in order, that's not necessary. Again, I think the question is historically, we've not accepted wills with removing the staples, but in practice, we actually do. So, you know, the affidavit is not necessary.
Can you request an exemplified copy of the probated documents via eProbate?
No. It's only for submission of estates for the purpose of probate. That is the simple and only purpose at this point.
Okay, are there any other questions?
Let me talk about that a little bit. Those documents, in order to get those documents, it's simply a phone call to the front desk to get it in motion. So it would be no more expeditious to use eProbate for that than to make a phone call. So unless there's something that we're missing, that I'm missing, that you're saying in asking the question, if you're looking at it as a simplified way going forward to obtain those documents, by all means, please obviate it for me. But otherwise, if it's looking for expedition on your end, on the user end, I don't see a way that this would improve on it.
I think that's it for our questions today, Surrogate.
All right, well, I would like to thank everyone who joined us today once again for your interest and participation in this program. As always, if there are comments, please feel free to email us at surrogate@co.morris.nj.us in order to let us know suggestions, recommendations, because again, we learn from you as well as coming up with our own ideas. And our job here is to make this easier for the attorneys and for the people that we serve. So if you have suggestions that you believe would be beneficial to yourselves or to the public, we are absolutely open to suggestion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Christina, another great job in putting this together for us.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. We will make this available in the next couple of days on the Surrogate's website. And if you have any additional questions or need help with the eProbate process, please feel free to call us. Okay. Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you. You as well.